This is so now many you may have seen I've shown other videos of these folks interrupting people. They are with the LaRoche party or whatever, and that party has a lot of wrong-headed ideas. Now they have a lot of right-headed ideas too. I interviewed one of their candidates for Senate, Diane Sayer. They have wrong-headed ideas on plenty of things. So, that kind of sucks. It's not like I'm going to vote for them tomorrow. But they also have a lot of right-headed ideas on stopping war. And so in most of these interruptions that they're doing, that's what they're focusing on. And so I'd say more power to that. Now, I don't believe it should just be them doing this. I believe it should be a lot of people. I believe it should be a lot of people speaking out, like I did on Fox News. I'm sure most of you have seen that clip, calling them a parade of propaganda and a festival of ignorance. And, that was 2008. In hindsight, I probably would have thrown in there that also all the mainstream media is a festival of ignorance and a parade of propaganda, but it still served a purpose. But lots of people should be speaking out and speaking up at these events. So I'll keep, as long as they keep doing this, I'll keep showing clips. And by the way, although they've done this at more Democrats, they have done it at Republican events as well. So I don't want anyone to think this is, they're just getting the Democrats. No, they did it to, Mike Pompeo. I know was a recent one. So yeah, it's the two-party system. I've always been saying, two wings of the same bird, two sides of the same coin. But I think I need to switch to George Galloway's line, two cheeks at the same backside. Also, the other reason that's funnier, or not just funnier, is more accurate, is because they give you this front where they're like, here's what we are. And then you go, wait, but the two ass cheeks are the same. Yes, it's all the same dude. All right. Here is, and I'm not gonna play most of this, but I'm not gonna play all of it. It starts to get repetitive, but also, and you can't hear all of it. But also, I will say, well, maybe I'll interrupt it. At times, they just yell some. All right, I'll interrupt it later. I'll just go ahead and play it.
Pelosi, that's a very good place for you in the depths of hell, because for some reason you have a very bad obsession of getting us into war. Hey, why is it that you did not admit that there were no WMDs in Iraq? You lied up.
And so I want to throw in here that a lot of people are like, oh, that's old news or whatever. It's like, dude, it killed 1 million people. And she was one of the leaders in Congress during that time. She shouldn't get a pass because it was a few years ago. Like, I don't fucking care. You helped kill 1 million people in Iraq with lies. That should still be brought up. That should still be talked about. So fucking yeah, use it.
You got us into an invasion of Afghanistan. Now over 90% of those people are in Congress and are dying. God should tell the truth about it.
So what he's talking about there is 90% of Syrians. He said, you helped get us into the war in Syria. Absolutely true. 90% of Syrians are below the poverty line. And that is largely thanks to the United States, because not only, yes, we've bombed some, but the real thing that did it is the sanctions. Aggressive, gut-wrenching sanctions that, again, kill the poor, kill the kids, kill the babies, the elderly. That's who die and are most harmed by sanctions. And that's what we've done in Syria. 90% of that country is in poverty.
Nord Stream! Why did we destroy Nord Stream?
And, of course, that's a great point. Why aren't you asking about Nord Stream? Why don't you want to know about this act of terrorism done against one of our allies? Why is that not something you care about?
Millions of Germans without energy. You have a knife for getting us into war. People like you should be arrested. You are a war criminal.
Hey, Congress!
Absolutely, she's a war criminal. Absolutely. So then another guy interrupts and starts yelling. And I love that, because I love having multiple people there, because they drag one out and then the squishy liberals in the audience. You can see some of them sitting there. And if it were a Republican, it'd be pathetic Republicans sitting in the audience. Doesn't really matter. These people are all believing the ruling elite that is lying to them, that is lies to them every day. And these people have decided that that's fine and exciting. And so they're in this audience and they boo, boo, go away, go away, go away. And then he gets dragged out and they go, yay, now we get to hear Pelosi talk more. And then there's another person that's like right on top of it, like, how about we keep doing this? What the fuck's the matter with you? Like, it's great when there's multiple people. Furthermore, there's often not enough security to stop multiple people from interrupting. So often they'll spend their time dragging one guy out, and then there's no security there to drag the next guy out. So you get more time. Beautiful.
Hey, Congresswoman, I came to see a warmonger, but you're a sad old drunk. What happened?
Now, I actually think that's not, it's, it's may get a laugh. Maybe you're laughing right now to see someone call her a sad old drunk. But I actually think as a tactic, that's not useful because it allows this group to be maligned as like just yelling insults and shit like that. Also, I know a lot of drunks that are lovely people. I don't think, old. I know some radical old people. So sad. I know some pretty awesome people that are sad. So of those three things, sad, old, drunk, I don't find any of those to be negative. The real thing is that, like, she's a sociopath and a warmonger and a greedy, horrible human. So those are the things that are sad, old, drunk. I mean, I'm like, I know some lovely sad old drunks. Anyway, but the real reason I just, again, you can criticize tactics and still like something that's being done. I like this being done. I think it's important. I think it's important to educate people on these things. But when you throw in a line like that, I feel like it cuts off the education. I don't mind the word fuck. You say you're a fucking war criminal. Okay, maybe that stops some people from listening. But when it's ad hominem attacks, it doesn't. I think not enough people learn from it. Now, on the other hand, on my live streams, I'm allowed to use ad hominem attacks, of course.
Happened? When you went to Taiwan, were you looking for Ukraine? Did we blow up the Nord Stream on accident or on purpose? Did you know about that? Aren't you supposed to be part of the...
I love this idiot. I love the idiot who just stood up. And he's like, I'm going to yell back at him. No. And then he sat back down. He's like, yeah. Meh. Pelosi, good. Meh.
The indictment tomorrow? You're a war criminal by definition, Miss Pelosi. You got some nerve. Is that why you're here in Manhattan? Is that why you're here? Because you're getting indicted tomorrow, you goddamn war criminal? How many people have died in your fucking name? How many people have died because of Iraq? All of you forgot about Iraq? Get out of here! Iran, Libya, Syria.
Okay, so that's pretty much it. They have another guy stand up, which is just great when they keep popping up. But the last guy is mainly just there to promote LaRoche, which I think is not really the point. But so you hear how angry he gets at the end, and it sounds really visceral and angry. And I know some people write that off as like, oh, he starts to sound unhinged. But it's like, how angry should we be when millions of people are murdered in our name? Should we not be screaming like he's screaming? Is not the rational thing to do when millions of people, fucking children, millions of children, that 500,000 Iraqi children that were killed by our sanctions and Madeleine Albright was asked about, that was before the invasion of Iraq in 2002. That was before. 500,000 fucking children before that war began. How angry should we be? I'd argue just as angry as he is. Like, how can you say we shouldn't be? And yet people hear that level of anger and they go, oh, that's it's unhinged. And it's like, I think it should sound like that. Now you can argue about tactics. Maybe it's better to not sound that angry, but fuck it. I don't blame these people for getting that angry.